Hello everybody, how are you? Good afternoon. My name is Chef Rob. My son Chris is here, and this is our second annual baking and holiday cookie festival. So we have 3 really good cookies for you. I got to keep creating these for you so you get some different things for your family and friends. So make some of these. I hope you're baking along with me. If not, you can watch it again. The libraries will keep it up on their page. So hello everybody out there. The first cookie we're going to start working on is the holiday chocolate crackle cookies. They're so good and they look so pretty. I'll show you them at the end. Okay? What do you got, Chris?
We have a few people saying hello. Sid said hello. Uncle Brian said hi, Chef Chris. Hello. Emily said hello, Chef Rob. My 4-year-old niece Clara is making cookies with me today. And let's see, Michelle said, hi, Chef Rob. And Emily said, I'll be making with you the sprinkle cookies. And she went to Dollar Tree stores. They were sold out of the sprinkles. But she got some at King Cullen, and she got it for $5.49.
My goodness. Okay, so I'm glad you got them, and I'm glad you're going to make it. So, to start this, let's start with our dry ingredients. We're going to start taking the flour. And this is 1 cup of the flour. Don't pack it in too tight. You want it nice and loose. And I like to go right against the rim, just like that, and put it in here. Okay. And then we want to add some cocoa powder. Cocoa powder, I want 1/2 of a cup and 2 tablespoons. So I want to make sure that this is nice and full. Let's level that right off there. Put that right in with the flour. And then also an additional 2 tablespoons. This right here is 2 tablespoons. Okay, for more dry ingredients, the baking soda. So I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Always check it, because if it's old, you may want to just put a little vinegar, distilled vinegar on it, and if it bubbles, it means it is still good. If it doesn't do anything, throw it out. And then a little bit of salt, so about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Put that right in here. Just mix this up really, really well. Go ahead, Chris.
Sid X, do you ever do recipes by weight? I find it more accurate.
Absolutely. You certainly could do it. I do a lot of these classes in-house at the libraries. So sometimes I have 40, 50 people. And it can be a little hard waiting for people. Most of the time, when you level it out, it's pretty accurate. But just don't pack it down. Go ahead, Chris.
Gail and Rena X, what kind of cocoa powder you recommend? Whether it's Dutch process or something else?
Yeah, the Dutch process is absolutely perfect for this recipe. There's Hershey's, Ghirardelli, okay, any of those would be fine.
Emily said, went to see Santa. He just came down the road. Which one are you making?
I am making the chocolate crackle cookies, Emily. Yep. So now, in another bowl, let's take our wet ingredients. We want to take, and in wet ingredients, they're not always wet, but we're gonna have some wet things in here. So we want to take 1/2 cup of the white sugar, 1/2 cup of the brown sugar. The light or the dark would be fine. If you like a little chewier cookie, you can do a little bit more brown sugar and a little less of the white sugar. Brown sugar will make it a chewier cookie. And then 1 stick of room temperature butter, and just make sure it's just like that. Not melted and not cold, because if it is cold or melted, you will have a totally different cookie. So just put that right in here. And then we're going to beat this on a high speed for 2 minutes. And then we're going to add in 1 room temperature egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. The pure vanilla extract. It matters. It really does. Go ahead, Chris.
Nope, don't see anything.
Oh, okay. So I am so glad we have so many libraries here today. Of course, where I am from, Long Island. Go ahead, Chris.
Kirsten asked, unsalted or salted butter?
Well, I always use unsalted butter, and the reason I do that is you're starting with no salt in your recipe. But I always say, if you only have salted butter, use the salted butter and just take out a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in your recipe, because that is exactly what is in 1 stick of butter. Okay. Now, chilling the cookie dough, whenever a recipe calls for it, and this recipe calls for it, it is really mandatory. Otherwise, it could just keep spreading the cookie and you will not get the proper cookie that you really want. So we have to mix this for about 2 minutes. Go ahead, Chris.
Lisa said, hi, Chef Rob. Have a wonderful holiday season with your family.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much.
And Kirsten said thank you.
You're welcome, Kirsten. So we have been doing some in-house programs, and we've doing a lot of virtual. This month, when I'm doing the adult classes, I have been doing a Yukon Gold potato and leek soup, and also a different holiday cookie. I'm doing a winter chocolate snowstorm cookie. So if you are from Long Island here, please go to some of the libraries and check it out. Now we have a lot of libraries throughout the whole country. We have New Jersey, or of course New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut. We have Rhode Island, New Hampshire. We have Detroit, Pennsylvania, Arkansas, and I can't miss anything, Chris. Who am I missing? Oh, Kentucky. Hi, Kelsey. How are you?
Rena said, I made your Asiago cheese bread this morning.
How did it come out, Rena?
And Neil said, hi, Rob and Chris. Is vanilla still good? Is vanilla still a good price in Diker Heights this year?
No, you know, that's funny, you know, that you said that, because last year after our cookie festival, you have some memory, we went to Diker Heights in Brooklyn to watch all the holiday lights. So if you are ever around Brooklyn this time of the year, it's a real treat to go there. But no, not tonight. But I am going out. My wife and I were going to see an ABBA tribute concert. So now I gave away my age, didn't I? Okay, so now I am just going to take 1 egg. While this is going, put the 1 egg right in here.
Heidi said, hi, Chef Rob. Can you use sea salt in your cookies?
Absolutely. Yes, you can. You can always substitute that out with the regular table salt.
And Rena said it came out well. I'm thinking about how and if I can add something to spice up the batter.
You can always add chopped jalapenos. You could always add scallions to that Asiago cheese bread. It will definitely make it really good. And now 1 teaspoon of the pure vanilla extract. Put that right on here. I'm going to put it on a high speed, and I just want to scrape down the sides of the bowl. And then we're going to start adding in our wet, dry ingredients into the wet. And that will help it to be a little less lumpy when you add the dry into the wet. So let's take our dry right here. Going to add this right in. And now we're going to turn this on low speed. And one of the reasons for the low speed is the cocoa powder. I don't want it to go flying all over because cocoa can get everywhere. And then also, I don't want to overmix this, because if I overmix this, what will happen is you're putting too much air into it and it really changes the texture of the batter. It can make make them collapse, kind of. Okay, so this is going to need to go into a refrigerator with a nice tight wrapping on it for 2 to 3 hours. It's really mandatory. But when you are, after you are done with it, you want to take it out of the refrigerator for about 15 minutes just to let it soften just a little bit. And then we're going to roll it into some balls, about 1.5 tablespoons. And this will bake in about 11 to 13 minutes in a 350 oven. But every oven is different. So just because it says 11 to 13 in my oven, your oven is different. it could take 15 to 16, or it could take 8 or 9 minutes. So always check on the cookie. Go ahead, Chris.
Patty said, "Hi, Chef. Is it best to use a metal bowl for baking cookies? I have plastic and glass. Thank you."
I like the metal bowls for it, but if you only have the plastic or glass, it is fine. Absolutely.
And Karen X, "How do you know when the butter and sugar is sufficiently blended? Should it be fluffy? Thanks."
You should make sure that it is totally creamed. So you should not be able to see white sugar, not see brown sugar, and not see any of the butter. And that is how you know it is really mixed really well.
And Elisa said, "Hi, Chef Rob, from your Michigan fan."
Hi, Elisa. How are you? I know who you are. Thank you for watching again. Okay, so let's add in 1 full cup of chocolate chips just until it is combined, and then we're going to stop. Again, not over mixing the dough. Now, when these cookies are cooking, if you notice that they kind of stay together, stay up a little too high, you want them actually to spread out just a little bit. You can always take them out of the oven at the very end and just give it a little tap, and it just kind of deflates the cookie dough. Okay, so this is the way it is, and I will show you an example with that. I am just going to take the dough out of here. I prepared some earlier today, and I did them about 2-3 hours ago, so I have some in the dough that is nice and cold right now, that we can finish these right off. Okay. Again, 350 oven, about 11 to 13 minutes, but check them yourself to make sure that they are done. You want to get everything off here. You don't want to waste anything, okay? You could take the dough, look at the bottom, just make sure all the ingredients are mixed in, because sometimes little cocoa powder, little flour could be at the bottom there. So this is the way you want the dough to look. It should have a sticky feel to it. Okay, nothing in the bottom here. If you're not going to use them today or tomorrow, you can leave it into a big ball just like this and wrap it. But let's say you got company coming soon and you want to use this dough quick. Spread it really thin at the bottom of the bowl. Okay, just like that, because it will get colder a lot quicker. Okay, so just a different way to do it. So I am going to put this in the refrigerator, wrap it up, and I'm going to show you some of the dough that I made earlier. Again, I'm just going to take some of it. You can kind of just see how it's kind of pasty, sticks to your fingers just a little bit. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Gail said, "I think I read you'll be doing the Yukon potato and leek soup for the Bayport Blue Point Library in the near future. Is it in January?"
It is not in January. Their library they're going to open in January sometime. But if I'm in person, I am doing a lasagna soup, and I'm doing Parmesan crusted quesadillas with tomato, basil, and mozzarella cheese. That's if it's in person. Okay, so here is some of the dough from earlier today. So I just have a little bit because I made some of the cookies as well. But you can see it really doesn't stick to you anymore, okay, once it gets cold. You want it to be about 1.5 tablespoons worth of the dough. So I'm just going to roll these into balls. You want to make sure you separate these on the pan. I like to use the silicone baking mats or parchment paper. I would say the silicone baking mats, I would give that a little bit more of an edge than the parchment paper as far as better baking, because it really does protect the bottom of the cookie even better than the parchment paper does. So you want them to look just like this. You're going to roll it in just a couple tablespoons of granulated sugar. So you're just going to get this coated just like this. And then you're going to roll it into confectionery sugar. And then you're going to put it on a baking tray that has the silicone baking mat. So I'm going to leave that right there. I'll just do a couple of these here. Now, if you're using baking powder, typically it's not in a lot of cookies, but sometimes it is. If you're not sure if that's old or not, 3 tablespoons of warm water in a small bowl. and then a half teaspoon of baking powder, and it should kind of moderately start to fizz. So that is a way to check out your baking powder, whether it's fresh or not. Go ahead, Chris.
Barbara said, "Hi, Rob. Merry Christmas."
Merry Christmas to you.
Let's see. Anne said, cannot find a share button. The share button should be right near the like button, so if anyone does want to share this to their page for their friends or family, feel free to press the share button and just to share with everyone.
Absolutely.
Sid said, "I love my silicone mats." Let's see. Oh, and then Sandra said, lower right-hand corner, click on the arrow, and a menu will appear. Click on share. Thank you, Sandra.
Okay, so this is exactly the way they should look, okay? Again, when they are baking in the 350 oven, you want them separated just like this, couple inches apart. And then if they don't kind of spread out, you're just going to take a baking pan.
Lisa said, "Hi, Chef Rob, from Lisa in Long Branch. I could practically smell the vanilla and brown sugar."
Thank you, Lisa. How are you? Everybody, if at the end you need to make them spread out a little bit, just tap it a couple times like that, and they will just separate, and it really works really good. Okay, it's just typically just for this cookie. If you have cookies and they seem like they're staying up too high, that they didn't kind of fall down, what is doing, it probably has too much dry ingredients, and the wet ingredients are absorbing it, and that's what's making it kind of cakey like. Go ahead, Chris.
Nandini said, "Hello, Chef." And Emily said, "Clara is having fun making the cookies. She tasted the dough."
Sounds great. Isn't dough great, right? So let me get the tray of cookies that I made earlier to show you how it is. Lisa, you're going to really be able to taste these now. So, these are the chocolate crackle cookies, what they will look like. When they just separate just like this, and they just have the little white powder glaze on there, they're just beautiful. And it just says holiday, or all over.
Lisa said, "Can you place a silicone mat on top of a regular baking sheet for stability, or will that make the surface too high?"
No, you're fine with doing that, absolutely.
And Lisa said, "Yum."
One thing that I would say, when you put the silicone baking mats and you bake a few batches of cookies, when you let them rest, put them onto a plate and then let the pan cool down. Because if you put cold cookie dough onto a hot tray, it's not going to bake the way it should. You want the pan to cool down, so really do that. That step is really important, okay? And again, if the recipe says chilling, please do it. It is really mandatory, and it will make everything come out really good. Okay? What do you got, Chris? Anything?
Nope, we're all good.
All right, we're all caught up. So, everybody, let's slide over and do the Blizzard white chocolate cookies. I've been doing this other cookie called a winter chocolate snowstorm cookie at the libraries right now. Did it yesterday over in Oyster Bay. So, and for everybody from Oyster Bay, hello. So the Blizzard white chocolate cookies, you can make them small, you can make them large, just a couple minutes difference, okay? These are going into, again, a 350 oven. If you're gonna make them kind of on the large side, it's gonna be about 12 to 14 minutes. Smaller, maybe 9 to 10, 11 minutes in that area there. Go ahead, Chris.
Cudgel Library said, "Looks delicious, perfect for the holidays." Lisa said, "Thanks for the tip." Monmouth County Library said, "Can't wait to get home and start baking. Is there a baking sheet you would recommend? These look delicious."
I typically don't know if this is a brand, but I get them at a restaurant supply store. Had these for many years. They don't warp whatsoever. They're just a good quality. So I would say if you have a restaurant supply store, I'm not sure if you have like a Restaurant Depot by you. I think you may, and check that out because they're really good.
And she said, "Wishing you and your family and bakers all across the country all the best with Monmouth County, New Jersey," from Laura and Joan.
You guys are phenomenal. Thank you so much.
And
Thank
Gail
you.
X, "Could I press a candied cherry in the center of these cookies before baking to make them look festive?"
Absolutely. Or when the dough comes out and it's still a little soft inside, put the cherry right on top there. Okay, you could do it either way. Okay, either way would be fine. So let's make our Blizzard white chocolate chip cookies. This is 2.5 cups of flour. So we're just gonna take 2.5 cups, nice and level, just like that. And now a 1/2 cup. Perfect.
Heidi asks, do eggs need to be room temperature for baking cookies, or can you use them right from the fridge?
They don't have to be room temperature, but I have to say, I do it all the time because it really does incorporate in the batter so much better. So if you can remember an hour ahead to pull out an egg or whatever dairy it may be, it's really going to help everything blend really good together. Okay. So I'm going to take 1 teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt. Get that right in here. I am just going to mix up our dry ingredients.
Susan X said, miss which cookie you started.
Did the chocolate crackle cookies.
But this one right now.
Oh, this one here, the Blizzard white chocolate. The sprinkle batter ones are the last ones.
And Rebecca X, do you prefer a certain brand of flour for the cookies?
King Arthur's really, really good. You'll pay a little bit more, but I feel it's a better quality for any of your baked goods. Okay. So we're going to take 2 sticks room temperature butter. So I took this out a couple hours ago, so it would be just like that. If you forget to take it out, just throw a stick in the microwave for about 10 seconds maybe at the most, and it should be nice and soft like that. The way to tell if your butter is fresh, because some of us just buy it, we stick it in the freezer, then we put it in the refrigerator, and we have it a long time. So you want to take a look at the coloring on it. It should be really one shade of yellow. It should not have dark, then light, then dark, then light. That means it's old. Never store it right next to garlic or onions, because you are going to get that that scent in the butter, and you don't want that for the holidays, right? Or any time. So we're going to take 3/4 of a cup of the granulated sugar. So I have a 1/2 cup and a 1/4 cup. The same with the brown sugar. The brown sugar, a 1/2 cup and a 1/4 cup, 3/4 in total. You want to make sure that it is packed in here. Again, I am using the light brown sugar on this. And now the 1/4. So our next food festival will be on January 22nd at 3 o'clock. So please check your library, and I have great menus, and we have food festivals all the way until May. Okay, so we hope a lot of you libraries are still going to keep joining us. That would be great. So I'm going to also take in 2 eggs. I'm going to beat everything all together. Again, these are room temperature right now. And now with the house being a little on the warmer side, because we got the heat on, they're going to get room temperature pretty quickly. And I'm going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Okay. So we are just going to start mixing this. So this is when you would want to put on your electric beater. Just beat this until everything is really good and combined. Go ahead, Chris.
Neil asks, what is the vanilla price now at Costco? Friend looked at BJ's and there was none.
Okay, they're out of it. Wow. It's about $15, $16 at Costco for 16 ounces. Last year, this time, it was about $35. It started coming down around this time last year. Went to 29, 24, now it's at 15. So there is something that came down in price, which is so good.
The Monmouth County Library asks, how long can you store butter in the freezer? Is there any special wrapping suggested to retain the flavor?
I buy them at typically Costco, the butter. It does come in its own plastic wrap. And that I have found is good enough. If you're buying a singular one and it just has the little cardboard on the outside, I would take a Ziploc and just get all the air out and then put it in the freezer that way. But it will last several months. Like I'm talking 8, 9, 10 months. Because when COVID had first hit, I was stuck with a lot of butter because I was in the middle of doing Irish soda bread classes. So I had so much butter around, and I had it up to a year where I used it and it was totally fine.
Kelly said, I tuned in late. I thought this started at 2 p.m. That is what the Island Trees and Farmingdale Libraries announced. Which recipe is this?
Okay, this is the Blizzard White Chocolate Cookies.
And if you did tune in late and you missed the first recipe or missed the first half of this recipe, you could always go back and watch it on our page right after this class or whenever, because it'll always be up here.
So the batter should look just like this. Initially, when I had started this, the cookie program, I had said to all the libraries, and sent it an email, and I had sent, we're going to do it at 2 o'clock. But I had so many people saying, a lot of people bake along with us, and they like to spend the whole day doing it. So I changed it several months ago. That's probably 5, 6 months ago, and I sent out reminders, about 4 or 5 reminders to the libraries, just so they know.
Kelly asks, which recipe will be last so I can get ingredients ready?
The sprinkle batter ones, okay? So this is all combined really nicely right here. I am going to add in the dry ingredients. Just going to slowly, gradually add this in. And then I will add in the white chocolate chips.
She said thank you.
You're welcome. Now the white chocolate chips, I always get the question, is it chocolate? It is not chocolate. It's a blend of sugar, cocoa butter, milk products, and vanilla. And it just has a very sweet taste. And if you ever wanted to add like macadamia nuts to this, that would be fine as well. Okay, so again, I am just getting this to where it is combined. These will go into a 350 oven. Depending on the size you want to make, you're going to cook them, the large ones 12 to 14 minutes, the small 9 to 11. Just make sure you bring all that flour from the sides of the bowls down. When these are done, you want to take a little bit of powdered sugar and put them on there, because that is what gives it that blizzard effect. I know we don't want to talk about blizzards yet, right? I know some people love snow though.
We have a comment.
Yep.
Someone said, hi, this is Warren and I am 12. When did you know you love baking?
Hi Warren, how are you?
Or Warner, sorry.
Warner, how are you? I'm so glad. I hope you're baking along, or you will bake these recipes. I knew in 3rd grade I wanted to be a chef/baker. I was more a chef for many years until I became a personal chef, and then I said, I have to learn how to bake. So I started creating recipes, and I started making scones and breads. So try out all different recipes, and you're going to find the passion and the love for it. Okay, Warner? Thank you so much. Where are you from, Warner? I have this all mixed right now. I'm going to take in 2 cups of the white chocolate chips.
Marcia said, I have ex Santa for those silicone mats.
I hope you get them, Marcia, and if you don't, I'll deliver them on my sleigh, okay, to your house. So just put that right in there. Let's turn this back on. And I just want to get it to the white chocolate is mixed in here. If you can't get to the bottom and it doesn't mix well, you can always go in with your hands, or if you have gloves, you could do it that way too.
Warner is from Weston.
Weston, Massachusetts. How are you? So, have you made some of my things? We do a lot for your library. We did something last week. We did the mini chocolate chip scones. Okay, so this is all combined. So now, Werner, this is something you want to remember. Pop these off. Never touch these while the electric is connected. And now, we're just going to take the dough out of here. And I'm just going to get them right out of here. I do want to put this in the refrigerator for a while. This, if you just left in there about an hour, it would be easier to work with. Okay.
So no, this is my first time and having so much fun.
Thank you. I'm so glad. Keep an eye at your library because I do a lot for your library. So everybody, I'm just going to take this dough. I want to make sure the bottom of the bowl is all mixed in really well, and I want to get everything off here because this matters. It's cookie dough. Go ahead, Chris.
We have 2 comments. Lisa said, Chef Rob, doesn't matter if you beat your eggs together before adding to a recipe or before adding sugar and butter to the eggs in the batter.
Most recipes typically would be like you add the butter and the sugars, get it creamed, okay? But one day I was in a hurry, and when I was creating this recipe, I said, I'm gonna add everything in there, mix it together, and it all came out. It came out just the same. It came out perfect. Typically, though, you do want to just take the butter and the sugars and mix that, okay?
And also, Elisa said, I have a question unrelated to what you're baking today, but I would like your professional opinion. This week I started learning about making royal icing, and some bakers who make it suggest using meringue powder. Do you recommend using meringue powder?
I would recommend using the meringue powder. I think that really does work out for it a lot better. But I also, the last time I used that, I typically make like a buttercream or something like that when I'm doing icing now. Because a lot of times, like say if you're using fondant, it looks beautiful, but I do a lot of classes in the libraries and the children don't like that taste of it, so I kind of go with a buttercream. So that's why I do that. But as for your question, yes, that's what I would use. So this dough right here, I'm going to show you a small size and a large size. Okay. For the large size, you would want to do about 3 tablespoons. So they're going to make pretty large cookies. And small cookies, you want about 1.5 tablespoons. So this would be for the larger size cookie, just like that. So put that right here. Go ahead, Chris.
Neil said fondant is waxy.
Yes.
And also Joan said, hi Chef Rob, I don't care what you make, I love watching you cook. Very informative and entertaining.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you so much. So, the large and the small ones, just like this. Again, 350 oven. As soon as they come out, put them on a wire rack and let them sit for at least 5 minutes. And then, after they're cooled, we're going to put powdered sugar on them. So I'm going to go get my tray and put the powdered sugar on there. So these are the larger ones, these are the smaller ones. If you can see the smaller ones, they actually seem to come out a little thinner and you kind of get to see the white chocolate chips because here it seems like there's so much batter. But as you're cooking them, you want to make sure that the edges all get cooked, and then the center should be a little undercooked because when you take them out of the oven, it's going to continue to cook, okay? So it's really important to do it just like that. Go ahead, Chris.
Reen said, I don't mind fondant, especially when it's on top of a creamy frosting like layer. And Elisa asks, where do we find the recipes for what you're making today?
Check out the library that you are signed up with first. If you don't see them there, you can always call them too. If not, my Facebook page, Simply Creative Chef Rob. Okay. And now to make the blizzard, some powdered sugar right on top here, and they're so good. Don't forget macadamia nuts on this inside here. It would be great. White chocolate macadamia nut cookies.
Gail said they all look so wonderful. On a dreary day like today, wish we could sit down with cups of hot cocoa and sample them.
You got that right, Gail. Yes. So let me show you the first two cookies that I have. This is the chocolate Crackle cookies. And these are the Blizzard white chocolate cookies. It's like that. So like if you have them layered like that, you're going to have to hit it a little bit more before you serve them. But it just has holiday all over it. So let me give you a few of my dates coming up, and then we'll go on to our other cookie, because I know we have some people baking with us. That way it gives them a chance to set up for the next one.
Brett X, why do we have to chill the Crackle cookies before baking?
If you don't chill the dough, what's going to happen with the cookie is it's just going to go like that, okay? If you chill it, it's going to come out to the right form and texture. If the recipe really doesn't state it, you probably can put it right into the oven. 9 out of 10 times, the cookie recipe will say put it in the refrigerator. If you think about the Pillsbury roll, it's very solid, very hard. That way, when you slice it, you put it in the oven, it's going to come out to the proper shape. It never says on there to frost it and make it soft. Go ahead, Chris.
Clara wants you to know she loves making the cookies.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you so much. Claire?
Or Clara.
Clara, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I hope I'm coming to your library soon to do some children's programs. Check your library out, because I do a lot of children's programs, a lot of teen programs, adults, and we also work with the Girl Scouts as well too. So there was one day we had a Zoom class, we made pretzels, and we had 141 Girl Scouts on the Zoom class. We had so much fun doing that. You know, so many questions, everything that, just like today, makes it really, really nice. So let me give you my January and February, what I am making. In January, on January 22nd at 3 o'clock, we are making a baked ravioli with a spinach and artichoke sauce. Then we're going to make a freshly baked provolone and sun-dried tomato basil bread, so it goes together really good. And also a warmed marbled pound cake with apricot preserves, toasted almonds, and mascarpone, the Italian cream cheese. Hopefully we can get cream cheese by then, right?
Lisa said, what I meant earlier was if I'm adding eggs to a recipe, should I beat them together first, or can I just crack them into the mix? Does it make a difference?
You could crack them, or you could put them in the side of the bowl. Just take a little fork and just mix it like that. That would be fine.
The Cut Drug Library X, how do you keep from eating too many?
A lot of times when I go to your library or whoever's library I'm at, don't you notice I give out samples to you guys?
Tammy said my wire cooling racks are nowhere to be found. How should I cool my cookies?
If you take even a bowl just like this, and I'm just for a quick example, you put it on here. Part of the tray is going to be hanging off. You got a little hollowness in here too. You could do it like that too. You could take a towel, just kind of bunch it up, and have two of them, and the air is going to get at the bottom of this. You make do.
Michelle asked, or she said, question, where can I find a shaker for the sugar? I was searching Bed Bath & Beyond's website. I couldn't see one.
You should be able to, if you put in like powdered sugar shaker online, they're going to come up at some store, whether it's Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, Walmart, Amazon, any of those. If you have a restaurant supply store in your area, this is where I got mine, but they're definitely out there. So let's slide over to the sprinkled batter cookies. Okay. Oh, I promised February too, didn't I? So February 26th at 3 o'clock, it's called a movie night fest. So this is what I would love everybody to do. It's movie night snacks. So we're doing it at 3 o'clock, and then you'll make all these different snacks and go to the library, take out some movies, and then bring them home and watch some movies and eat the snacks that we have. So get the movies the day before. Okay, you don't want your snacks getting cold. So that day we're going to make shrimp scampi flatbread. And then this is a little gourmet movie night. And then we're going to do pizza nachos. And also a cinnamon white hot chocolate. and it's going to have chocolate marshmallow stirrers. So a fun night for February when it's all cold out and snowy. March 19th is at 3 o'clock. April 9th at 3 o'clock. And May 25th at 6:30. Okay, so that is our next ones coming up. Let me slide over here. Go ahead, Chris.
Barbara said, I just tapped my sugar through a small strainer. Emily said, my grandma always put the cookies in a brown paper bag. She used to open the bag so the crease would just come out.
Okay.
Let's see. The Cut Jog Library said, sounds like a good plan. And James X, did the class start at 1 or 2?
It started at 1 o'clock. I had sent out reminders to the libraries months ago and just the other day, just that it changed to 1 o'clock.
Hold on 1 second.
And if you missed anything, just go right back, and this will be up on all the libraries' Facebook pages and that. How do you like my friend right here?
Yeah.
See, now when I go to the library and I do children's classes and we're making snowman cupcakes, this guy comes with me. Yeah, he's kind of hard to fit in the car, but thank God you can pull out the plug and eat the plates.
Anne said, for sprinkling powdered sugar, I just use a small plastic strainer from the dollar store. Came 3 for $1 in a graduated set. Make sure you get the ones with the tiny mesh holes. I spoon some of the sugar into the strainer, then shake it over the baked item.
Absolutely, it'll work. You substitute if you can't find something. So let's make these sprinkle batter cookies. These, you will make about 15 cookies. They go in a 350 oven. These do not have to wait. So if you're hungry for cookies today, this is the one that you're going to pop right into the in the oven. So if you're making them right now, turn on your oven to 350. Go ahead, Chris.
Nope, don't see anything.
Okay. So let's get our dry ingredients first. So we want 1.5 cups of flour. And you can see this is a pretty large cup. It's 1.5 cups right here. So, and the reason I get big ones like this and the exact measurement is I go to a lot of libraries, and when I have 40 people coming at me, it makes the class go nice and smooth and nice and organized. We're also going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So with the baking powder, this is going to give it a rise instead of spreading out too much. So 1.5 teaspoons of the baking powder. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then just mix that up really well and leave it to the side. Okay. And then we're going to take a larger bowl. Let's take, again, going through a lot of butter here, Chris.
Yeah?
Thank God there's not a butter shortage
Yes.
yet. So we're going to take a 1/2 cup. It is room temperature. And I'm just going to start beating this with the electric mixer. Just until it's kind of smooth and creamy. And then I'm going to add in 3/4 of a cup of the granulated sugar. So what I'm going to do, so that way I can keep it going, is just level that off, keep it measured, and I'm going to turn on my electric mixer. Now this mixer here, this one is a Cuisinart. This one is a lot more powerful. I bought this years ago. I love this one. The other one I had was a KitchenAid, and always check for the power on it, because if you don't get enough power, let me just turn this on. Now that was on low, so it's a huge difference. So if you want to get things done, this Cuisinart one is really, really great. When they came out, they had all different colors. They probably had like 12 different colors. I'm not sure if that is still the case.
I don't think I want to see high.
No, it's going to go all over you, Chris.
Emily X, can I use almond emulsion?
The extract is better for this, okay? So I would stick with that if you have it, okay? Put in 1 egg. And And you can put in the sugar as well. I'm just going to beat that. Then I'm going to add in the extracts as well. Scrape down the sides right here. Okay, now some pure vanilla extract. The pure vanilla extract, we want 1.5 teaspoons. There's the 1, and now the half. And then try to make sure you put in the almond extract, 1/4 teaspoon. This is very potent, so the smell of this is just so good. You're gonna love these sprinkle batter cookies. So we're just gonna turn this on until it is combined and then just stop.
I really smell it.
You smell that?
Got a big whiff of it.
Smells good. Okay, so we're gonna take the dry ingredients, add them into the wet. And again, as soon as you see no flour, just stop. Okay, so it's gonna look like a crumbly mixture right here, which is just fine. Go ahead, Chris.
Rena X, is there a big difference in taste between the natural extract and the kind we buy in the little bottles at the supermarket?
From the natural extract, yeah, compared to like, let's say something like this, the pure one, this one is actually gonna give you a stronger almond flavor than the natural one. Okay, it's just the extract is kind of just like a condensed flavor, so that's what's going to make it like that. So I want to add in a half cup of the sprinkles. Add that right in here, and I just want to mix this until combined. Now just leave that to the side. And now you'll see it's very crumbly, but it's the perfect consistency that you would want. These only take 8 to 10 minutes, and you really want the edges to be kind of a little bit crisp, and then the center to be very, very soft, very, like almost undercooked.
Betsy X, could you substitute some almond flour in with the white flour?
You could do it anytime you substitute any other flour, anything with a baking recipe. You are certainly going to change the texture, the consistency, the flavor of it. But as I always say, there's certain health issues it could be. Maybe you just don't want all the white flour, and you just make it work for yourself. Go ahead, Chris.
Our little friend Lacey said, "Merry Christmas, Chef Rob."
Lacey, how are you? Am I going to see you Wednesday in Comsawag? I hope so. I'm there 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Can we take a picture together? Okay, so this is the way you want the dough to look. Okay, and then you want about another 1/4 cup of sprinkles. Let's put it right there. You're going to take about a tablespoon worth of cookie dough. So just something like that. Okay, and then you're going to roll it into the sprinkles, just like that. Now, when St. Patrick's Day comes, 4th of July, red, white, and blue sprinkles, green sprinkles, Valentine's Day red, So you can use this recipe so many different times of the year. When you're done with these, cool them on a wire rack as well. I'm going to do a few more of these. Go ahead, Chris.
She said, yes, we will be there. 5 p.m. will come.
Great, great. Now, are you in the class or are you just coming to visit? Either one, of course, is fine. And Lacey, if you want to help out that day, you can be my helper if you want to do that, okay?
She said just a visit.
Just a visit, okay. So if you guys want to come there even before 5 o'clock, please feel free, all right? I'm looking forward to meeting you. Lacey did my cooking in summer camp and has watched so many times, and I'm so looking forward to meeting her.
And she's my birthday twin.
That's right,
Yes.
Your birthday twin. So see how these look? This is, when you put them on the parchment paper or silicone baking mat, you will get cookies to look just like this.
She said, ooh, now that you said helper, we may sign up.
Please sign up, yeah.
And then Emily said, very sticky dough it is.
Very sticky dough. Yep, but if you have the gloves or you're in the mess, just mix it, roll it in the sprinkles, and it will be all good. Go ahead, Chris.
Clara wants to tell you that she loves the sprinkle cookies. Deborah said, my child has a nut allergy. Will these taste okay without the almond extract?
Absolutely, yes.
And also, Holly said, sorry, I'm sure you already said this, but how do we find the recipes? Picked up the chocolate snowman cookie kits from Elwood last week, and they were amazing.
The chocolate snowman, snowstorm kits, is that right?
I think so.
Okay. I dropped off something the other day there too, so check it out. Go to our Facebook page, or if the Elwood Library is a part of this, I do forget, please just look at the libraries. There's many libraries on here. Go to all these different libraries and check out their Facebook, check out their website. Go into their library, okay? Even if you are visiting into a different state, there's so many different states on here. They want us to come into the library again. They want me to do programs there. They want you to come in as a patron, okay? And they want us to visit. So let's do it. The libraries are wonderful. They don't just do books or computers or cooking. They do arts, crafts, so many different things. Music. Check them out.
Emily said, I'm making it with you now. The dough is yummy. And Linda said, how would these be with chocolate sprinkles?
Chocolate's perfect. Absolutely. When I was a kid, I liked the chocolate sprinkles better. But now, I'm not as fussy. Let me take all of the cookies and put them right here. And Chris will film.
Rena said, I'm first on the wait list for Syosset's grab-and-go kit for the week off from school. And Emily said, I'm making mine smaller, so I cook for how long?
The sprinkle batter cookies, check them in about 7 minutes if you're making them smaller. So everybody, if you want to hold on a second filming that and just bring it up here a second. Okay, so everybody, before we go, I'm going to say, don't go. If you have children, if you have grandchildren, please get them by the screen now, okay? And we have a special guest. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and I hope everybody, you have great holidays. Thank you so much for watching this. I enjoy this tremendously. I know the libraries do as well, and the patrons, and it's just become a wonderful thing throughout the country. So thank you to everybody. So have a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Healthy New Year to everybody. So I'm going to say goodbye, but don't go because got a special guest for you, okay? This is more for the kids, but the adults will get a kick out of it.
Also, if anyone is looking for a gift to give anyone in their friends or family, go to our Facebook page and you could find this cookbook, Simply Creative 2, and we accept checks or we accept Venmo, and we'll send it right out to you and we'll get it to you before the holidays. Look at our guest. Whoa, Chef Rob found her really nice friend, the snowman. Okay, say bye. Everyone, happy holidays.